Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
Morning,
Great.
Doc.
Good morning, Jason. It's morning in Japan. Hopefully, everybody had a great week. Even if you didn't, it's the weekend, so it's good. And the holidays are fast approaching. I appreciate everybody's time. We will start here shortly. Welcome, everyone. We are starting time now. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ledoux, and you are welcome to Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And like I always say, you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here to share in the knowledge, to share in the family, and to also develop yourself as a security professional or as an aspiring cybersecurity professional. And like I always say, we are going to make sure you go away with something, right? Your time that you are spending here is going to be worth your energy and your time, right? So, uh, yeah. So I appreciate everybody's time. There was a comment in the chat. That is what I was looking at. So we discussed how to set up a cybersecurity company or to become a cybersecurity business owner last week. Some of the steps that you have to go through, and we talked about the program that we are going to be pushing out next year, right? And this is the official launch of that program. We might probably maybe look at officially launching it, but just to let you know, enrollment has been open, and the goal of this uh, program is to push most people outside their comfort zone, right? Maybe that is probably some of one of the things that should be on your checklist for your New Year resolution is to push yourself outside your comfort zone, right? Most folks they want to get into cybersecurity, get a high paying job, that is reliable, that is secure. Now, I want you to take it a step further. You can still be doing that and still looking at the other opportunities on the other side, as to being an owner of a company that can employ a cybersecurity professional, right? And the steps, step by step, how exactly you are going to do it, and the tips and tricks of the trade is what we are going to go through. So it's an action-based and practical, training that we are going to go through for every thing that we touch on, we are actually going to do, right? So if you don't know how to set up a company, you don't, going between LLC and S Corp and, what are the tax implications and all that, we are going to go through all that. After that, you are going to set up a company, or an official company, register an LLC or S Corp or whichever entity that you want to go with. And then we go through the different licensing aspect of it. Then we will jump all the way through the different steps until we get to writing proposals and bidding for uh, contracts in the corporate side, and then also on the government side and the federal side and all that, right? So it's going to be pretty fun. Packed for that, I can tell you. And we are going to show you some of the industry tricks and tips that nobody's going to show you anywhere, right? So the enrollment details were sent out. We are doing a 50% off for enrollment. So if you are looking to get into, even if you are not I wouldn't say even if you're not ready, because by the end of the training, you have a full-blown cybersecurity company, ready to start working, or you might probably even be working before doing some, work before we finish the whole program. It's a 12 weeks program that is going to be packed, and we are going to do live sessions and go through, and they are going to be teams, and the different groups and teams will be working on helping each other to, for everything that we're going to be touching on. And there's going to be also mentorship and all the help that you need to make sure you are very successful. So we are going to move on into, and then also there is a program. So most people have been asking for a PCI internship / workshop, right? We like our PCI internship is attached to our main PCI training. Now we are looking to branch off and make an internship / workshop, but then there will be some prerequisites, right? You should have done something PCI. Either than that, just sitting in it, you are not going to get the full not just, but like the full understanding and a very comprehensive understanding of what is going on in terms of the actual doing of PCI stuff. So that we are also going to push out later on sometime this next week, right? So we are starting off. Today's main topic is the state of cybersecurity 2023, right? So we are looking at 2023, the trends in terms of some key areas of cybersecurity, or all the key areas of cybersecurity, and then we're also going to be doing some projections for 2024, right? So we are not in 2024 yet, so we can only project, right, as to how it is going to play out. That will all depend on 2024, but at least we have good data to be able to predict or to guesstimate or to forecast what 2024 might look like in terms of cybersecurity. So you are welcome, everyone. We are going to jump in. So if you are new to the family, I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm the founder of Eretmis Academy, and I'm also the CEO of Eretmis Inc., a cybersecurity consulting firm based in New York, and also a QSA company, PCI QSA company, also based in New York. So we are going to jump into the state of cybersecurity for 2023. Now, for our Christmas big sale, we are offering a 35% off on all our training. And on our website, if you use the promo code is Xmas 2023, right? That should give you a discount on all our training and training courses that are on our website, eretmisacademy.com, right? So, and then also we have a group, a WhatsApp group. So if you're not part of it, the link will be posted. You can join it, and then that way you'll be able to get to know everything that is going on within the Eretmis family. And we also have a YouTube channel. Everything that we are doing here for Cyber Chat is being transmitted live on YouTube, and we're also going to post the replay on YouTube as well. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then even when you are not able to make it here, you'll be able to get the notification for that. And then also announcements and also other posts and other information that we push out. We also push it out. We also post it on YouTube as well. So that will help you to also stay ahead with everything that is going on in terms of Eretmis Academy and Eretmis family and cybersecurity in general. So tonight we are going to be looking at, as usual, cyber news, some cyber news for the week, at least 2 top cyber news for the week. And then we are going to jump into the state of cybersecurity. So for our courses that we are going to be starting in January, I talked about the business owner one. So with the business / it is starting on the 18th of January 2024. And then we also have the new PCI internship / workshop that is starting on the 22nd. So that is just internship / workshop. So if you come in, we are just going to jump into the doing of PCI, right? We are not going to take you through PCI itself to teach you. We are just going to start working on projects, right? And then we have our normal cybersecurity internship / workshop that is starting on the 13th. It was supposed to start this month, but we moved it to the 13th to, allow everybody to have some breathing space for the holidays and the rest, right? And then our next PCI class will be starting on the 16th of January, right? So our PCI class comes with a training and internship and all that, right? So we are going to jump into our cyber news. So in the news, AI is in the news. So there has been a landmark AI Act. So this is the only AI Act so far in the world. Arguably, maybe probably there's some elsewhere. I'm not aware of that as at this moment. But Europe has taken the lead. The European Union (EU) they came up with a provisional act to control AI, the use of AI by the government and also by the corporate side, right? The United States don't have anything at this moment, and EU is probably one of the first major world power to enact a law governing AI, right? Most quarters are discussing and talking about AI, but it is EU that has actually taken a step and has come up with something. So this is provisional. They are still debating. So they are yet to come up with the actual fine print. But what is this going to cover, right? What is this act going to cover? So one of the biggest is for the consumer. So consumer will be able to uh, launch a complaint or file a complaint and receive a meaningful explanation, or even be able to have companies pay a fine if they are found to be in the wrong. And violations will range from 7.5 million euros to 35 and up, right? So Europe has a data privacy law. Anybody knows that law? Europe's data privacy law.
GDPR.
Yes. And can you break it down? What does it cover? Anybody? Can somebody tell me at least three things that GDPR covers? And especially for consumers, right? I mean, GDPR, like the whole of it is just directly to help, EU consumers. But what are some of the maybe three major things, or maybe three things that you remember from GDPR? Anybody?
Personal data.
Okay, so what about personal data?
Privacy.
Privacy.
So, like, what exactly? So, the whole GDPR is about protecting the privacy of European Union consumers or customers, right? But what are three like they have, I think, up to like 8 or 7, or don't quote me on that. Like they have a list of things that constitute the GDPR, right? Without breaking it down, at least there maybe two or three items within it. Anybody remembers like what exactly? How is that going to help EU consumers? Anybody preview to that information? Well, somebody can look it up.
Is it how the personal data is used, how it's stored,
Yes.
processed, things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is what constitutes the whole entire data privacy. So if you look it up, if you go online, you'll be able to see that. So like one of the big ones is how they will be able to, how customers can file a complaint. Yeah, how they can file a complaint if their data is not used as whoever is collecting the data made them aware that it was going to be useful, right? So if I was collecting your data and it was going to be used for maybe A, and you realize I'm using it for B, then you can file a complaint, right? So, and then also customers, they have the right to tell you to delete their data, hey, I don't want my data to be with you anymore, so delete it, right? And if you don't, or you say you do, you did, and later I find out you didn't, I can also, pursue legal action against you, and the list goes on, right? So it really looks out for the customer, right, or the consumer. But United States is yet to come up with a data privacy law, a general one for the whole entire country, like a federal one, right? We have some for California and the rest, and now I think New York came up with one. Virginia has, some also on there. But this is just to go to show you that Europe is taking data privacy maybe probably more seriously than everybody else, right? So, and I think there was a cyber chat where one of the cyber news items was that I think the owners of this series, the series with the dragons, like what was the name of it? Game of Thrones. Owners of games, I think like the writers for the Game of Thrones books, they took ChatGPT, OpenAI, they took them to court. And reason being that they were using their information to train their AI without, the asking for permission or without getting that legal clearance for them to do that, right? So when it comes to AI, training your AI or the data they are collecting and the use of that data, it also really borders on data privacy and some other areas of maybe the legal house as well, right? But when it comes to security, we are focusing on data privacy. Data that you are inputting. So now most of us are using ChatGPT and other AI tools. The data that they are collecting, they are using that same data to train their AI, right? And then using it for other purposes as well, right? Do we give them that permission to use it for that? Or like what is really going on? Who is going to regulate that space? And EU has taken the lead, right? So our focus was just on the consumer portion. And I just brought the GDPR in here just for you to see the kind of like the linkage, because Europe has something already going on in terms of data privacy for how they are going to protect their citizens or anybody within the EU space, right? All consumers. So we are going to move on to our next news item. That is customer reviews. So a study was conducted, and the result was that most customer reviews on Amazon are fake. Not most, some, right? There are a lot of customer reviews on there, but I think for the study, they said up to almost 33 million of those reviews. And so how do and we brought up this news item for one reason. It's the holiday season. You'll be buying some gifts, and like we always do, we shop online, Amazon and other places. And mostly when we are really contemplating on which items to go with, right? When we don't really have any, we are not really attached to any one choice. We kind of rely on social proof, right? Other people who have used the product, their reviews to see whether it's good or bad. Now, what if the reviews are fake? Then it means the choice that we are making is probably not going to be the choice that we want to make, right? So there has been, talks around this, and Amazon also has shown that they are working around the clock to take down some of these fake reviews. And reason why there are a lot of fake reviews is that on Amazon, things that are sold on Amazon, maybe probably 80% of it, or probably I'm assuming 90% of it is not for Amazon. It's not sold by Amazon itself. It's sold by individuals like you and I, right? So I want my product to be, I want to sell more. So obviously some malicious people will take some shortcuts, and they have people do reviews and bogus reviews for them. So that is how we end up with fake reviews and the rest, right? So they are doing well to take some of it down, but then also, as you're taking it down, then the people who are doing it are also finding smarter ways of, having it on there, right? So I think there were a while ago, FTC tried banning fake reviews and testimonials on Amazon, but then Amazon also said they are taking legal action against such reviewers and people who are selling on their platform, who are condoning such activities, right? So how, as a consumer, how will we be able to go around fake reviews, or how would we be able to identify that this review is fake or this is right? And 2 or 3 people want to give their take on how to identify fake reviews and how to really, identify reviews that are authentic, right? Anyone want to give it a shot? How do you identify a review that is not fake?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, like when I want to, take for instance on Amazon, I look at pictures, I look at audios. So regardless of the text attached to that review, so I put emphasis on the media attachment to the product. So be able to determine if it's try to compare the experience, the content and the context. I put them into perspective. Yeah.
Okay, great. And anybody else? I think like the name. Yes, go ahead, Jason.
So first, you look at the grammatical errors. Are there errors? Next, you look at the context. Does the sentence make sense with the product? So if it's a camera and you say it holds water very well, 10 out of 10, you know that's fake.
Okay.
After looking at spelling and context, you look and see how many times has that person posted. If it's many times on the same thing and on multiple others, most likely that is a fake review.
Okay. Patrick, go ahead. Oh, Patrick has. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yes. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yes. You want to look for the consistent. Hello, it's like somebody's.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, you want to look for consistency in the writing. When you're reading something, how consistent is it? Humans make mistakes. Are they consistent in those errors? Also, the person leaving the review, you want to review their profile. How consistent have they been leaving feedback? Are they really purchasing real items? Generally, when you review someone's profile, you can tell the products that they purchase and see if there's legitimate products and reviews. So these are just some of the ways, that you can check as well.
Great point, Patrick. Great point. Isosa, please go ahead.
If they mention competing, like a competitor's products, I see this a lot on IG too, where they go under somebody else's stuff and they start telling you about somebody else. So those are probably fake reviews too.
Oh, okay. Good luck. Go ahead.
Hello? Oh, sorry. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Good luck.
Yeah, I said something the other time, but then another thing came to my mind. I normally look out this on Trustpilot on the review site. So this is where I look at the date and the time. Take for instance, some reviews are generic. Like let's say 10 people post like October 10, another person posts like October 11. Like it's like that. You look at the date, the proximity of that date. But the real review, maybe somebody posts last month, and then another person posts a month ago, 3 months ago. That is kind of organic than the generic one that they just post like 20 reviews within 2 days. That's fake.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Deo. Nana, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Apart from the context, sometimes when you read, you can see or can realize that this guy or this person is exaggeration. You know, the way and the manner that it has been written, you can know that no, this one is a paid person who is writing something about it.
Okay. Okay. Zachary, please go ahead.
Yeah, when I'm looking for something to buy, I first look at the description of the item to see whether it meets what I'm looking for. Then I look at the reviews. Now, to know which reviews are authentic and which are not, if I have like 100% everything says favorable about that item, I know it's fake. And then you must at least have somebody there who says, oh, this item is not good, don't buy from this person. Or this item is giving me items in returning the product. Then you know that there's something wrong. I mean, you know that is a genuine review. But if everything is positive, 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 then you know that is a fake review. That's how I go about it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, I think everybody made a very valid point. I think maybe one of the ways to really identify this with everything that we've said is to whoever is doing the review, make sure they've purchased the item. So like one of the speakers was saying, you can see whether the person giving the review purchased the item. Now, even with that, right, if it's an item that doesn't really cost much, I can be the one selling it and I'll have, people buy like a bunch of it and give them the money back. And, they're going to give that review and it'll look like. So really, sometimes we will try our maximum best, right, or our possible best to be able to go around it. But now for reviews, they are open, especially for Amazon and the rest. They are open. I'm not sure if somebody gives a review on Amazon, like the sellers will be able to delete it. I'm not sure, but I don't think Amazon will allow that, right? So if it's a bad product and they are trying to make it look good, I mean, obviously, people who purchase it, they will take when people purchase a product and it's somewhat it's okay, or even if it's very good, very few will come back and give a good review. But if it's bad, almost everybody will come back and give like a really bad review. So maybe that is also like a way. But ultimately, you have to make sure whoever's giving the review, they have indeed purchased and used the product. All right. So with that, we are going to jump into our main discussion for tonight. That is the state of cybersecurity for 2023 leading into 2024. Now, before we do jump into it, Eretmis Academy is a CompTIA authorized partner. So for everybody on here, if you want to write any CompTIA certification, or anybody interested in writing CompTIA certification, we have a 20% discount that we give out to our community members. So you reach out to us and we will be able to give you the 20% discount on any exam voucher that you want to purchase from CompTIA. And then also for what we are doing for all the cyber chats that we've done, you can use it for your continuous education points. So if you want to renew your certification, any certification, CompTIA certifications, ISC Square, CISSP, and the rest, you can use what we are doing tonight, and then also the previous ones that we've done on YouTube. You can go through those, and those will count towards, you can, use those for your continuous education credits. That way you don't have to sit for the exam again. You can just submit those credits and you get points for it, and your certification will be automatically renewed. All right, so how to do that? Michael has gone through this a couple of times with everybody, but on CompTIA, these are the steps. So you can just go to CompTIA's website or reach out and we will help you on how to do that. But it's pretty straightforward, so you can do that. Right. So now we are going to jump into the state of cybersecurity for 2023. Now, for 2023, a lot has gone into cybersecurity, right? There's been some ups and downs. The focus of our analysis for tonight, we are going to be looking at the three main aspects of cybersecurity. That is people, processes, and technology. And then we're also going to look at the governance side as well. So looking at policies in particular, and then narrow it down to risk management strategies that organizations used in 2023 and what we anticipate or what we are forecasting to see in 2024, right? So we are doing this because it's end of the year. We are in December. It's like almost 2 weeks out till New Year. So it's only appropriate for us to do an assessment of what happened during the year in terms of cybersecurity as cybersecurity students, cybersecurity enthusiasts, and cybersecurity professionals. It is our duty to do this analysis for us to understand what is going on within the industry, right? So we are going to jump in. Now we'll look at the people aspect. So for everything we do within cybersecurity, right, we can always categorize it into people, processes, and technology, right? And people, everything that we are doing, it is people. We are the ones who are going to enact policies, implement the policies, follow the policies, configure systems, right? So people we play a key role in security, a key role in cybersecurity, right? So the importance of cybersecurity professionals can never be underestimated. We are the movers and shakers of cybersecurity, right? People. Now there have been, I think, some cyber chats ago, some people were raising concerns about AI. Where can AI take over, and the job of security professionals? And well, AI will help, but AI can never take over the job of security professionals or the job of people in general in other areas as well, right? Because people always have a unique place in everything that we do, right? And like I also asked, who made AI? People. Who runs AI? Who corrects AI? It's people, right? So people, we play a key role, especially when it comes to security, because AI can only do so much. We are the ones who are going to always breathe life into everything else that we are doing in terms of processes and even technology itself, right? So organizations in 2023, they clearly saw the significance of having skilled security professionals across their workforce. And what we are doing, the analysis that we are doing in terms of the state of cybersecurity is not in vain. The analysis that are being presented here, they are based on research conducted by CompTIA and then also ISACA, right? And they all have the state of cybersecurity reports and other. I think even ISE Square has one also as well. So there are other different researches that were conducted on this, right? But we narrowed ours to CompTIA and ISACA, right? So for the people part, we are looking at staffing, the need for security professionals, and generally what went on within that space. So employers, they saw the need for more skilled security professionals, and the growth or the need for security professionals, it went up by 28%. Looking at the same period in question, from May 2022 to April 2023. Within that same period for 2020 for 2020 to 2021, then the demand, right, grew up by or went up, increased by 28%, right? So I think by May 2020, by April 2023, the demand for security professionals, according to CyberSeek, it was almost around 670,000, right, on-field cybersecurity jobs, right? So now it keeps going back and forth, but it is not going to go under 500,000 anytime soon. So the demand, it is still that has to be filled, right? So it is still there and growing, right? So, and also the analysis that they were making based on this research. So the opening of cybersecurity jobs, the 660,000, they were predominantly referring to technical, like jobs that were technical, right? So what do I mean by technical? Jobs that needed an in-depth knowledge of cybersecurity expertise for you to be able to do, right? So There were not jobs that anybody could do with, necessarily no training, but some orientation in cybersecurity. So if we add the other cybersecurity jobs, that doesn't necessarily require you to be a full-fledged cybersecurity professional, then the number is going to go up, right? Example of most of these, jobs that do not require you to be very technical savvy. They are more in the leadership, managerial, and other areas, that are still cybersecurity roles, but they are not, you don't need to be a full-fledged cybersecurity professional to be able to take those positions. So those will be considered as a non-technical workers within the cybersecurity space, right? So that adding that to the technical would, obviously the number will go up from more than 660,000, right? So, and the statistics or the percentage is also going to increase as well, right? So more to follow for the people space of what we are looking at. So what was the biggest cybersecurity challenge for 2023? Now, challenges that were faced for within organizations when it came to cybersecurity initiatives, the list is what we are going to be looking at, right? And like I was saying, this was based on research. So cybersecurity companies were interviewed, people were interviewed within different companies, and the results is what we are presenting here. Now, the first item in terms of challenge, the top challenge is security skill gaps among internal employees. So the skills gap in terms of the knowledge and skill that security professionals need to be able to function effectively was one of the top challenges, right? And two, believe that current security is good enough. So that perception that, oh, we are good, that is also one of the biggest one, or that is like second in the list of the big challenges for 2023 when it comes to security. Now, prioritization of other technology or other technologies was also one. Lack of metrics to demonstrate security effectiveness. So how are we measuring the effectiveness of the security strategies or the security program that we are running? That was also a challenge that companies were, something that companies were struggling with, right? Low understanding of the current security technology trend. That is also one of the challenges. Lack of budget dedicated to security. Now, some companies, some are still not really, taking security as seriously as they are supposed to when it comes to the money aspect, right? And then low understanding of new cybersecurity trends. That this easily ties into what is up here, right? So if there is a cybersecurity skill gap, then obviously they wouldn't be up to speed when it comes to new cybersecurity threats and trends, right? And then uncertainty around contracting security workers to third party was also one of the challenges that we face in 2023. So are these challenges still going to be around in 2024? Probably, but maybe there will be one or two that will be going out. And I know, academia and institutions like Eretmis Academy, they are working around the clock to help bridge this gap, the skills gap. So last year's report, the skills gap wasn't the first, wasn't top on the list. I think it was, it was believed that current security was good, right? But it has, they are still, 39. But the top is the skills gap, right? So probably maybe there's going to be a shift, but my projection is that at least this list, we are going to have almost the same list with maybe one or two changes here and there, right? So we are going to, so for the top challenge, how do we solve that? Or how do we bridge that gap? So for everybody on here, or for cybersecurity professionals, aspiring cybersecurity professionals, you have to know if the top challenge is the gap in skill in terms of knowledge and like the ability or the technique, the know-how or activity. Okay, I call it activity knowledge, right? Activity knowledge. So having that insight, into how exactly to do something on the job is what we are looking at, right? So how do you bridge that gap? Training, and like I always say, everything starts with knowledge, right? You cannot do what you don't know, right? And you cannot do this. So obviously, you cannot do what you don't know. So if you know something and you practice doing it, that is how you build your skill, right? So everything starts from knowing. If you know, you can, gradually you are at the point of transitioning into skill. So you can, move gradually, practice, and you are going to be skillful. So we have to make sure we are constantly learning. We are constantly improving ourselves, developing ourselves like we are doing tonight. So, and also for companies, one of the ways per this research, one of the ways that they are trying to bridge this gap is bringing in less experienced cybersecurity professionals and training them on the job and building their skill sets on the job, and also at the same time orienting them to what the company has going on in terms of security, and then in terms of the business operations of the company, right? So for the skill gap, there's always going to be some skill gap. It's just like risk. There's nothing like zero risk. So there's always going to be some skill gap. But then organizations and as individuals, we have to make sure that we are taking ourselves out of that statistics, right? By improving ourselves and becoming better at what we do. So different paths that we're taking in terms of filling security roles. So within companies, how were they picking cybersecurity professionals, or how were they hiring cybersecurity professionals? So pathways for dedicated cybersecurity personnel in 2023 as compared to 2024, as compared to 2022 is what we are going to be looking at, right? So we are doing a comparison 2023 and 2022. So everything in this color is 2022, and we have 2023, right? So hiring professionals with 5 to 10 years of experience, 2022, it was 43%. And this is based on companies who participated in this survey or in this research, right? Now, 2024, it's increased 1%. Now, promoted, so folks who were promoted from IT infrastructure to cybersecurity roles in 2023, in 2022, it was 39%. In 2023, it's still the same thing, 39, so not a big change. College hire with cybersecurity focus, so folks who finished college and they were hired 35%, 37%. Hired with less than 5 years of experience, folks that were hired, so we can say maybe probably entry-level positions, 37%. So an increase of about 3% from last year. And hire with 10 years plus. So 10 years plus, this will mostly be a managerial position or, C-suite space. So 36%, it's increased by 2%. Non-college hire with demonstration of knowledge. So folks who've not been to college but know cybersecurity, don't have a college degree in cybersecurity or anything, or have a college degree in anything, there is a huge increase, right? From 2022, it was 22%. Now it is 35%. So almost more than 10% increase, right? Now promoted from business unit to cybersecurity role, folks who were moved from business unit into cybersecurity, that also moved from 28% to 32%. And then college hire with general technical degree also moved up 1%, right? So my prediction, this is not really going to change that much. I think there's going to be still a huge jump when it comes to this side. Non-college, but being able to demonstrate knowledge and skill of doing the job, this is going to increase. So the pattern is really not going to change that much. It is still probably going to be the same. So next year, around the same time when we do this, maybe probably we'll do a replay of the video and see how a big change this has been, or if it has stayed in the same space, right? So we are going to also look at areas of improvement for cybersecurity professionals. So 2023, based on 2023 survey, which areas do we need to improve ourselves in as security professionals? And we are looking at significant improvement needed, moderate improvement needed, and do not know where to improve, right? So this was based on survey. So what was given is what we are going to be looking at, right? So in general, cybersecurity professionals, areas that they need a significant improvement, they are the ones that are in blue, right? So application security, 44%, knowledge of threat landscape, 43%, network and infrastructure security, 43, access control and identity and access management, 40%, data security, 40, regulatory landscape, 39. So regulatory landscape, compliance area, 39, cryptography, 39, endpoint security, 39, data analysis, 38, right? Now, other areas that need moderate improvement also is what we see here. So 51% all the way down. I think almost everything here is 50 plus, right? And these respondents, they said they didn't know which areas they needed to improve. So with that, now at least we know some areas that most security folks were struggling with in 2023, right? Hopefully this number changes or it reduces, because we need more security professionals who are well vested in all these areas, because security borders on all these areas, right? So if we need significant or drastic improvement, then companies can invest the money and the resources, and then also individual security professionals can also take courses, certifications, and training, and do some hands-on training as well to get better at becoming more proficient in these areas as well. So with that, we are going to move into governance. Now we've looked at everything, people, right? We are going to move into governance, right? Any questions on the people aspect as we are moving into governance? Now with governance, we'll be looking at policies, and policy, we are going to move specifically into risk management policy and strategy for the companies, right? So with policy, we are looking at risk management strategy versus our business operations. So when it comes to risks within the cyberspace, it is very interesting, because risks, everything that we are doing is based on mitigating risks to an acceptable level, right? So risk management is the big umbrella under which everything falls under in security, right? So risk management, it is not becoming the primary method of solving the problem or the big challenge of looking at the security strategy and then also business operations. It has been, and it will continue to be, right, one of the ways that we will be able to really, look at that marriage between security spending or the security governance aspect and the overall business governance of the organization. So in terms of security, what were some of the topics or the main topics that were included in risk analysis in 2023? What were companies looking at? What areas of security were companies looking at? That is what this is referring to. So technology procurement and shadow IT was 49%. Use of cloud computing, 42%. Classification and prioritization of data, 41%. Use of mobile devices, 40%. Data ownership, 37%. Use of social media, 37%. So a lot of 30s. Data warehouse, 33%. Point of sale, 32%. And business continuity, disaster recovery, 31%. Employee exits, procedure, that was 29%. And supplier relationship, so looking at third party, that was 28%, right? So The percentages here is just showing you like the focus, how much focus was put on this when it came to risk analysis for companies in 2023. Right now, when they also, interviewed, or they did some research into people who were involved in the risk management decisions, the risk management discussions and decisions within the company. And the list is the individuals by role who were involved in the risk discussions, right? So technology staff, everybody, well, I will say probably I'll just replace that technology with IT staff, right? So IT staff, they form 40%. Now CEOs, 36%, which I think obviously CEOs should be probably like 95%, because ultimately everything falls on them. They are the ones who are going to decide whether we are going to move left or right when it comes to accepting security, right? Now, mid-level technology management folks, 33, mid-level business management folks, 29, and business staff, 25, board of directors, 22, third-party firms, 20%, other technology executives, 20%, CFO, CISO, and CIO, they are all in the 20s, 19 and 20, and other business executives, 13%. So top on the list were our technology staff and CEO, our CEOs also were up there. But I think last year, CEOs, they were not even close up here. They were down here with the C-suite who are down here, right? But that is a big change for 2023. So now we are going to look at the process aspect. So we've looked at people, we've looked at governance / policy aspect, looking specifically at risk management, risk assessment. Now we are looking at processes, right? Processes, people, processes, technology is the buzzword. Process or processes, they are how we actually execute our security plan or our security strategy, right? So cybersecurity processes, they are the driving force that, helps us in terms of really maintaining a good security posture, right? And who has to follow these processes, and who even comes up with these processes? People, right? So processes, most organizations kind of, we downplay the process aspect and the people aspect, and we focus only on technology, right? We think our security solutions just have to be technology, which is not right, because then we are losing some aspect of security, and attackers can easily, take advantage of that, right? So building security policies on the governance side is good, but the actual execution becomes the hard part. So the actual tactical part of it becomes a bit troublesome if you don't really know what we are doing. So organizations in 2023, there was a focus on polishing up on the process aspect, right? Because that kind of helps us to manage the security puzzle or put everything together. Because processes, you can look at it this way, it is in the middle, right? Between your people, technology, processes is right in there, right? Helping us to really, put all the pieces together to make sure our security works well and is effective and efficient. So what were some of the questions, or what were some of the items that we are looking at when it comes to processes? So elements of organizational cybersecurity strategy. What did we have, or what did most companies in 2023, what were they looking at when they were they were considering processes or their strategy in general, right? Cybersecurity strategy. So they were looking at cybersecurity monitoring and analytics, threat intelligence. So for the main, or the overall, what scored highest was monitoring and analytics, and threat intelligence Incident detection and response was 37. Vulnerability assessment and pen testing, 36. Business continuity, disaster recovery, 35. Governance and risks and compliance, GRC, was 34. Threat modeling, 34. Workforce assessment and education was 31. Zero trust framework was 28. Tabletop exercises was 26, right? So there are some, if you paid attention to the list, right, you'll see that incident response, there were like 3 or 4 items that all bordered on incident response. So here, tabletop exercise, training your workforce, we can argue or put that also in there under incident response. Now, business continuity and disaster recovery goes hand in hand with incidents detection and response, right? So we have at least 3 or 4 items focusing on incident response, which I personally believe is good because for everything that we are doing security, if we don't have a really like a big aspect of it reserve or looking at incident response, then we are kidding ourselves because we are doing everything right, but there can always be an incident. It's a matter of when, there can always be an incident. How we respond to an incident should be part of our cybersecurity strategy. Because if you don't have any strategy to respond to an incident, and it does happen, then you find yourself in a big trouble because a very minute incident can cause a grave impact to your organization's operations, right? But if you have a very good, robust incident response, business continuity data recovery program in place, then even a huge or a grave incident might not really cause much of a problem because you'll be able to kick in your incident response and business continuity and data recovery programs in place, and you'll be able to take care of it within the shortest possible time, and it will look as if the incident didn't even happen. So I think there's a plus for us in the security space for 2023, and my projections probably is going to remain the same. And then also the buzzword zero trust framework formed 28%. Now we will look at zero trust more as we move on, right? So, and also some of the practices included in business strategies, what were some of the practices within organizations in terms of their cybersecurity strategy? So network analytics, software defined micro segmentation, multi-factor authentication, cloud workload governance, identity and access management software, formal continuous improvement process, and we have corporate device management. And then lastly, principle of least privilege, right, 27. So all these were part of the strategies that they used. Now, we will discuss, we are going to move into zero trust, even though zero trust is not on here. And we are going to bring it back to principle of least privilege also as well. But these are some of the practices in terms of strategy that organizations were looking. So some of the major areas that they were looking at in terms of their cybersecurity strategy is what we just looked at, right? Top of the list is network analytics. Now let's jump into zero trust, investment into zero trust. So zero trust has been a buzzword for the past probably maybe 2 years, 3 years, right? Now, before zero trust became an official framework, it was a concept that was being pushed around. But now NIST has made it a full-blown. They've come up with an actual framework as the zero trust framework. Anybody knows the NIST special publication for zero trust framework? Say that again, please. Oh, anybody knows that?
800-207.
Yes, 800-207. Thank you. So if you are not aware, you can, go take a read or go look. It's a pretty straightforward document. You can download it online. It's free. So Zero Trust from NIST, and is the only Zero Trust framework that is out there in the security space, as far as I know, right? Maybe somebody came up with something yesterday or last week. I'm not privy to that. So this is what I know. And NIST, I'll take NIST Zero Trust framework over anybody else who comes up with one, because NIST, they've been in the business for a while, and when it comes to documentation and frameworks, they are pretty good at, right? So now, for the list that we are looking at companies that invested more or that really focused on Zero Trust in terms of their security strategy for the process aspect of what we are looking at. So more investment for Zero Trust, it was 82%, right? Some invested less. The less investment based on the research and folks who took part in this, where less investment was 5%. Now, folks who didn't really care whether they did invest or not was, in terms of, when I say folks, I mean companies, right? No different or indifferent was 13%, right? So Zero Trust framework investment versus your cybersecurity budget. Why should organizations even invest in Zero Trust? Maybe 2 or 3 people want to give their take on this. Why Zero Trust? Like, what is the principle behind Zero Trust? I mean, were we not doing fine before Zero Trust? Why should we add some additional, money to our budget for us to implement Zero Trust? You can raise your virtual hand if you have anything to add to this.
Maybe probably an improvement in security layers, and then that's, I think, trust too, because people are having more trust in them because of their, maybe probably the level of their technology improvement.
Okay, so I think I will start my question. I will start with a different question, right? What is Zero Trust? The principle of Zero Trust, what is it? Go ahead, Prince.
Well, Zero Trust means that no one is trusted by default, including those that are inside the network. So if any individual or devices wants to access the network, they have to be re-verified or verified again.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Right on the money, right? So now with that out of the way, let's go to the question of why should organizations. Okay, and I think I have another question before we even go to that. So before Zero Trust, what was the practice? Now, Prince said Zero Trust, we don't trust anybody, applications or people on our network, whether you are inside or outside. We don't just, especially if you are inside, we don't assume, because you are in, you are good. So you have access to everything. You have to re-verify or re-authenticate anywhere you want to go on the network. Now, before this concept, what was the norm? Patrick, you want to chime in?
Yes. Prior it used to be security in depth, layers of security onion. And so, to answer your next question, if the threats and the threat actors are only increasing, we have to step up our methodology and frameworks to counter that. So Zero Trust, as my colleague previously said, is a new method of not trusting anything. Because like you said, Dr. Adu, at a time, and many know in security, it's not if you get compromised, it's when you get compromised.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick. Olu Bumi, please go ahead. Bumi.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to chime in that before Zero Trust, they rely on the fact that the adding security, it's enough that they have the firewall, the corporate network is well secured. So because they have that in place, they have like rest of mind that we don't need to authenticate some things because we already have a firewall. So, but now that zero trust framework is coming in, so everything has to be authenticated before they can be granted access. That's what I want to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And right on the money. So yes, before zero trust, we assumed that everything outside was bad, everything inside was good. So inside and outside, meaning everything within our network, everything including people, users, and applications and systems, they were trusted, right? Outside, it was bad. So we had to vet them before we allow them onto our network. But gradually we got to know that that is not necessarily the case. There can be some, even within the inside, there still can be problem and trouble because you might assume everybody in is good, but that is not necessarily the case. So the principle of zero trust is to ensure that even within, we don't trust everyone. So if you are inside, you still have to authenticate to get access to some areas of the network. So still practicing. So zero trust, really the foundation still is principle of least privilege, right? But now we are extending it even within. So you only get access to what you need to have access to. If you don't need to have access to, then you want to get access to it, you have to authenticate before you be able to get access to it. So it's that principle on a different level, right? Looking at how we looked at security in general, in the old practice of just everything outside is bad, everything inside we assume is good. It doesn't work that way now, right? So that is the idea behind it. Now, when we have to implement zero trust, when we have to actually do the implementation, you should know that we are going to add different layers and additional systems and applications. So it's going to cost us a little bit more than when we were not trying to implement zero trust, right? So, and in every business, every company or every organization is in business to make money. Even for non-profits, they are in business to make money because they need to pay their workers. They need money to stay afloat, right? So because you are non-profit doesn't mean you can just lose money, right? Everybody's so what you do with the money determines whether you are non-profit or you're. But and the point that I'm trying to make is, so there is limited resources in terms of spending, right? In terms of spending, so they cannot just say we have a budget of $1 million for everything within the company, but because security, is more important, we're going to give 900,000 to security. It doesn't work that way. Everybody is equally important within the organization. So every department is fighting for the same resources, right? So in the security space, we have to be able to make our case why probably we need more than maybe we had last year, because we need to implement zero trust or some other frameworks or some other principles, right? So overall, we are fighting for the same resources with everybody else. So we need to be able to make a better case, right? So, or a good case and a compelling case for us to get, good budgets. And one of the best ways you can do a compelling argument about this is the money that we are spending for something like zero trust as compared to if we do get breached, how much we're going to lose. I think if you're able to do that comparative analysis, your C-suite should be able to listen, right? And then also applications and systems that we are putting in place shouldn't really be way over the top, right? We should be modest about it also as well. Mostly in security, it's not how big you spend. You can spend all the money in the world and still not have good security, right? So that is why I keep stressing on when people just focus on technology and they ignore people and processes, right? You can spend very little training your people, and then also making sure your processes are working fine and well, right? Than just purchasing the new, new generation firewall that just came up, or new application that is going to help you to do whatever, right? Guess what? Guess who is going to configure those applications? People. Guess who is going to try to bypass those applications to be able to do things? People, right? So we have to look at security every time holistically, not just spending. I know some companies, they just stack up applications. So they'll purchase, Nexus and Qualys, and they have Splunk and QRadar and applications that can do the same thing. They have like 4 or 5 of them. For what? Right? So ultimately, it's not application that is going to do the work. It's the people and your processes you have in place that is going to do the work with the help of the application, right? So budgets, companies, they are all trying to, cut down on cost and increase revenue. So we have to make a viable argument to be able to make sure we are implementing strategies that are going to help us, like zero trust. So at the end of the day, our goal is to lower risks. So that should be our justification for maybe any more money that we want to get and spend in the security space, right? And the board or your executives or your top management, they will hear that, or they understand that language, because it is business, right? And if they have a good comparative analysis and then also return on investment, then you'll be able to make your case and get the funds you need to be able to implement activities like zero trust, right? So now we are going to look at the last item, technology, right? Now, when it comes to technology, we'll be looking at products, obviously. So products in 2023, buzzword AI, right? AI products. So AI drives security products now. It has set a new standard, new height for security products. Now, AI was used. Don't get this wrong. AI didn't, like, security products didn't just start using AI. AI has been around for a while, right? But it's become super popular this year, right? And so some of these security tools and these security products, they had AI already, right? They had been using AI already to do most of the things that we use them for, right? But in 2023, generative AI has been the buzzword. And I mean, in everything that we do, there's some twist or something AI in it, right? Even for, I've seen like in some websites that were doing, that were functioning normally. Now they all have the buzzword AI in there for something, and whatever they were doing is still the same thing, right? Now they want everybody to know that was AI, right? So per the research that was done when it comes to products or the technology aspect of this, 56% of the respondents, so companies who took part in this, they indicated that they work with AI and also machine learning, and 36% they said that they have not worked with AI or machine learning, but they are exploring the possibilities of doing so, right? And I think this number is less, but it's 36, but I think it's probably less. So for all businesses, now you cannot function most of the things that we do, especially in security. Some things you cannot do manually, right? Imagine you were reviewing logs for maybe 5,000 endpoints, and you're trying to find some similarities in something, or some abnormalities somewhere. I mean, good luck going through all these logs. You are going to take, it is AI and these tools that are going to help us to easily do those, right? So companies that most companies are now, whether they really don't have a choice, but we are all moving into tools that are AI driven, right, in some shape or form. And even for companies that are not very maybe technology savvy, even with them, they still have no choice. And in the next 2 to 3 years, the projection is that AI in security, like almost all security tools will have AI of some sort in it, right? And I think they do now. Maybe not all of them, but we will see. So next, 2 to 3. So next year, AI is even going to become more, like bigger in terms of like security tools, and they will be able to also help us to do more things. So we should embrace AI and look at the good part of it, right? It is going to make our lives easier. We'll be able to use it to do more than we can do now. So potential use of AI in security, this is the list. So monitoring network traffic and detecting malware, 53%, analyzing user behavior patterns, 50%, automating response to cybersecurity incidents, 48%, automating configuration of cybersecurity infrastructure, 45%, predicting areas where future breaches may occur, 45%, generating tests of cybersecurity defense, 45%. So everything is in the 40s, in the 45s, right, going to 50. So this is some of the use cases or potential use cases for AI 2023 and moving into 2024. Now, cybersecurity product in use, so products that already have some AI or that uses AI now, we have firewalls, so 52%, not surprising. Network monitoring tools, not surprising. Antivirus, VPN, anti-malware, anti-spyware, encryption software, password managers, not surprising. Identity and access management, SaaS monitoring, security, SIM tools, DLP, data loss prevention tools, log management, endpoint detection and response, intrusion prevention, IPS, IDS, infrastructure as a service monitoring, packet sniffers, and packet analyzers, XDRs, and we have PKIs and e-discovery also as well. So these are some of the cybersecurity tools that already in 2023 that are using AI, right? So pretty interesting analysis and assessment for 2023. Now, the use of AI is only going to go up, right? So we have to embrace it and make sure we are using it for our own good and making sure it is helping us to work smarter and not harder, right? So that is the end of our analysis for 2023. God willing, 2024, we will come back again and discuss 2024, moving into 2025. So hopefully you took something out of that, and the replay will be posted. So also this is being streamed on YouTube. So we are going to open the floor for questions and any discussions that may follow. And still looking at the big Christmas sale, 35% off on all courses. You can check that out on our website. And also our new program that is going to help you step out of your comfort zone in 2024 is looking into becoming a cybersecurity business owner, right? So all these companies that are paying you 100 and 50, 120, 130, how much do you think company owners are making, right, to be able to pay you that? But it doesn't come easy. As company owner, you have to be the one going for the contracts and then getting that money and then paying people. So you can step out of your comfort zone. Now you know some security, you are in security. Even if you don't know security, you are not in security. You are looking at business. You're not necessarily going to be the one doing the work. If you can do the work, then that is even better, right? So you can, still do the work with others as a business owner, just like what Dr. Edu does. So this program will be starting on the 18th of January, right? And the curriculum and everything has been sent out. We will post it out again. So be on the lookout for it. And it is time for you to step out of your comfort zone, and there is a lot of space for everybody within the security space, right? So during this program, there's going to be a lot of collaboration, a lot of teamwork, right? And everybody who is in it, by the end of it, you're going to have a viable cybersecurity company set up, ready to go, right? Start attacking contract and, collaborating with Eretmis and other companies that might be set up during this program. Right now, our new PCI class is also starting on the 16th of January, and the curriculum and everything will also be sent out. Now, I think that has been sent out a couple of times. So if you want to get into PCI, learn PCI inside and out, it is PCI and GRC. So although PCI is part of GRC, but we are going to go more into other aspects of GRC as well, right? But predominantly PCI. All right. And then for us at Eretmis, if you're also looking to get into security, totally new, we have a career path for you. If you want to move into specialty areas like PCI and the rest, we also have a career path for you. You can always reach out. Now, for our cybersecurity internship that we run almost every other month, it is also starting on the 13th, right? So this is purely cybersecurity internship, not just focusing on PCI, it's focusing on cybersecurity in general. We work on different projects stemming from audits, from doing gap analysis, setting baselines, risks management, risks assessment, making policies, and the rest. We do all that in there. So if you're looking for some hands-on cybersecurity training, that is the place to be. Now, we are also starting PCI internship as well, right? PCI internship. So that will also be pushed out. So there is a lot that will be going on coming January. And this is the end of our presentation. We are going to open the floor for questions, if there are any questions for the group. Now, all that information about the new course that was pushed out, and then also reaching out to us and the different WhatsApp groups that we have, and then also making appointments, all of that is going to be posted in here. So if there are any questions for the group, please, you can raise your virtual hand and we'll address it. Olu, you have your hand up?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was from previous. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to find out about the business owner class starting in January. What days will the class be holding?
It will be on Thursdays.
Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Oh, and there are some comments in the chat, so we are going to look at that briefly. Is Michael on here? Yeah, I think Michael was here. If you can go through that real quick. And then also for... Yes, go ahead, Michael. So before Michael gets in, I know we gave a shout out to Frank for landing his first PCI job. He started this week. He's the PCI manager at this company. And guess how many people are on the PCI team he's going to work with? 0. He's going to be 8. He's the only PCI person there. He's the PCI programs manager for the company. So for those in the PCI class, when we tell you, hey, take this thing seriously, it's going to be you. You are going to be the PCI guy or girl. We are not kidding, right? But Frank is ready to go. He hit the ground running, ready to go, because he has what it takes. He has all the tools in his toolbox already, ready to go, right? So Frank started this week. A big shout out to Frank. We are rooting for you, and all the best. If you need any help, you know where to find us. So Michael, go ahead.
Thank you. All right. So I see one question. How much is the PCI internship? I think Dr. Du already addressed that, but I'll just let him go over that one more time. But the PCI, if you take the class, the internship comes with it. So it's not something separate. Or are you asking for?
No, so Michael, we are in January, we are going to push out a PCI internship only training. So the pricing for that will all be posted during the week.
Yeah,
right?
because I
So
thought I heard you say something like that.
yes,
That's why I asked.
yes,
Thank you.
yes. So the pricing for that will be posted. I know like a lot of folks have been they've been asking for that, right?
Yeah,
And
because I already took classes. Sorry to
yes,
cut you short. I already took all of that. I know the information, but I want to see it in real life. I know when you look
Mhm.
at the standard itself, you learn a few things, but
Okay,
I want to see it, see somebody, show me this is what you
okay,
do, auditing wise and stuff.
okay, okay. That's too easy. So that is why we are doing this. And I think Oliver is trying to show us something. Are you trying to show that to Michael or go ahead, Oliver? Oh, okay, okay. I think so. Michael, any more questions in there?
I think this is it. Team, keep me honest here. I'm not seeing any more questions.
Okay.
I think it was all about a PCI internship, how much that was, and yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, Patrick, please go ahead and we will wrap it up for tonight.
Yes, Dr. Duke. So does the PCI expert cover what the PCI course covers?
So the PCI expert is the PCI course. And so we have the PCI specialist and expert, right? With the expert, you are going to go through specialist and then jump into expert. So that like the expert is more than like the specialist. And
Yeah.
both, so the expert is going to come with 2 internships, right? I mean, one, but 1 in 2. So you're going to do like the specialist internship and then do the expert internship as well.
Okay, I see. And then the PCI internship, that one that's separate is the same as the one in the expert.
No, that will be the one for like specialists that is being pushed out to become like a whole training on its own.
Okay, great. And I do remember initially your PCI expert. I think it also was geared to be an entrepreneur. Is that correct?
No, that was the PCI partnership program.
Okay, will you still be having that one?
Yes, so next year we will be pushing out the PCI partnership program too.
Okay, and that's different from having your own entrepreneurship, the business course.
Yes, so the PCI partnership program, we were not taking you through step by step how to set up a company, how to get like certifications, like minority certifications, how to bid for contracts, how to, we were predominantly looking at if you already had something or you were looking to be a PCI consultant or like the business aspect, being able to approach companies. So more on the marketing, PCI marketing side, approach companies, get gigs, and then we work on the gigs.
Okay, like 1099.
Yes.
Okay,
Right. So let's say we were showing you how to approach these companies, what to do. So if you approach a company and they yes, okay, we are going to have you do this for us in terms of PCI. If if it bordered on an assessment, obviously you need a QSA company. So we will come in, do the assessment with you, right? So you get to sit in and see what is going on. So you'll be learning on the job right? If you know PCI already. And then you're also going to get a commission for that job. So like you're saying, that's obviously 1099, right? So, but that didn't take you from step by step, certain company from scratch and building it all the way up to where you can bid for contracts in the federal space or state level, or even, just other companies, right? So we were not looking at bidding for contracts and all that. I mean, I think we did look at that, and they work on one contract that we were bidding actually, right?
yes.
But that was just for PCI. But this is for cybersecurity in general.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Patrick. All right, good luck. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. My question is, does the PCI GRC think the one of 7,000, does it come with certifications, or we have to do our certification by ourselves?
Okay, so you like what certification exactly are you talking about?
I mean, any of the certifications that we need to get, like as entry level, apart from you having a Security Plus.
So we are talking about PCI though, right? The only PCI certification that you can get as an individual is PCIP, and that is not included in the training.
Oh, okay.
Aside that, QSA, ISA, and all that, all those are company based, right? So you have to be in a company for like a qualifying company for the company to take you to PCI to get that certificate.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Joseph, please go ahead.
All right, Doc. I keep wondering if any of the trainings can be applied to the PE credits, and if so, how much would that be?
So you mean like CEUs and CPE?
Yeah, exactly. If you did say PCI specialist or expert class.
Oh, yeah. So like that is more than so that we will cap it at 40. 40 credits. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know that. And do we need to get something from you to
So
submit?
like your certificate, yes. So like your certification that you are going to get is what you are going to use.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Doc.
Yes, and like that is really good question. So for like everybody on here, even if you take the cybersecurity for beginners free course, at least you can use that for maybe 10 or I think 10, maybe probably 10 because it's not even up to 4 hours. So maybe 10. You'll be able to get away with 10 credits, continuous education credits. But if you took entry level or any of internship, though all those are more than 40 hours, so you can use it for 40. Right?
Great. Thanks, Doc.
Yes. All right. So if there are no more questions for the group, Divine from Boston, please go ahead.
Thank you, Doc. Could you kindly just walk us through the procedure to get the PCIP?
Oh, okay. So for PCIP, you register on PCI's website, right? So you can either take just the exam or you can take their training and the exam. Now, for anybody who's gone through our PCI training, you don't need to take their training. You can just take the exam, right? So they all come at a different cost. So the exam and the training comes at a cost. Just the exam comes at its own cost. So you have to. So if you are here and you're taking our PCI class, just register for the exam.
Okay. Is there like any additional guidance on or is there any additional information you can share with us on, say, the nature of the exam or the costs around the exam only, any related information that
the cost, like the cost is on their website. Like I don't want to speak to it because maybe probably that's changed. I think they did some price changes, right? So that you can just find that out on their website. Now, in terms of content, I'll just say everything that you studied in the PCI class, revise your notes, and you'll be good.
Okay, thank you.
Please, what's the website?
So that is PCI PCIsecurity.org. So if you just type in PCI SSC, it should take you to PCI's website.
So I see PCI.org and I see PCI Security Standard.org.
Yes, it's PCI Security Standard.org.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Abdul, please go ahead.
Hey, Dr. Drew, how you doing?
Great, brother.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. That conversation about the PCI, SSC.org, is that a cert or just a class?
The PCIP
Yeah.
the PCI-P that he's talking about, that is the only PCI certification that you can have as an individual. Right. All other PCI certifications, they are tied to companies. Right. So
Okay.
PCI-P, it is good to have, but you don't necessarily need it before you be able to work as a PCI professional in a way.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So, I mean, it is nice to have, frankly.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that I posted a link in the chat, so please feel free and grab it. It will take you exactly what you need to do, the curriculum and everything.
Thank you, Micah. I think I missed the question that the last person asked. Are you trying to say that the PCI DSS has to do with company, or I think I missed the
No.
question.
So, no, he was asking about a PCI certification, right? PCI certification like certifications like Security Plus, CISA, SIM, the ones that PCI has, like QSA, ISA, and the rest, they are all tied to a company. You have to be working for a company to be able to get that. Right now, when you get that and you do leave the company, you don't have it anymore. But they have one certification that goes with you, just like Security Plus and CISSP and the rest, which is PCI-P, PCI Professional. Right.
Oh, okay.
So that was what he was asking about.
Okay.
Yes. So aside that, all the other certifications that they have under PCI, they stay with the company, not you. So Dr. Edu is a QSA. If I leave Eretmis, I'm no more a QSA because Eretmis is the QSA company. Right? If I go to a different company and I want to be a QSA and the company qualifies to be a QSA company, then that company will have to take me to PCI to recertify as a QSA. Right. So I can't be parading myself around as a QSA if I don't work for Eretmis anymore. Right. So hopefully that helps. All right, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time, and I hope everybody took something from the state of cybersecurity for 2023, and then also some of the projections we did for 2024. I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great and a wonderful weekend, and stay safe. We will meet for our last cyber chat next week, Friday, before we jump into the Christmas festivities. So I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great weekend. And for internships, we are meeting tomorrow for both both internship classes. Right. I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great weekend.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.